This is our next look, and we anchored again 2023, or the end of this school year, and it takes us forward to 2030. Now, I'm always careful to tell people when we look at this is pre-Intel. So this modeling does not include anything that can happen with Intel or any other supporting businesses that will be here. We say that because we really don't know all of that yet. It's obviously it's going to be a lot with, growth and residential growth. So the concern specifically for the high school, again, pre-Intel starts to show us that we're going to be at operating capacity at that high school about 100%, somewhere probably in the 26, 27, year. Met him. We've also tried to enhance our social media platform, so you'll see that at the end of the slide, but we've really tried to get the message out. We believe that there's such a good story to tell here, but it's our story to tell. So our page right now is in beta phase, and we'll be releasing that at some point soon. We actually have a small group of people, including some parents, looking at that website. Branding is another issue that we're looking at. We want to make sure that everything that we represent, especially as we grow and scale, is ready. So colors, font, how we're labeling things. So branding is all going to be a part of that, and we have a separate company working on this. Some of this will be rolled out later. At one point, we'll be reaching out to all of you. Sean and your administrative team try and come out to the schools. If you had a couple minutes to read a book or just come tour, we'd really like to welcome you. Police chief's been there quite a bit. It's been great to have his presence. It's what we call the 3 E's. And this is something that you'll see in schools a lot of times, but it really focuses on enrollment, employment, or enlistment. And what we're trying to do is get all of our students in 7th grade focused on one of those pathways. Employment is actually reverse engineering and working with employers. And, it's still early in this process, but we've been telling the employers that we're open to this, is to reverse engineer back into the curriculum. Rather than have a student take the normal cadence of math, is there something that they need for technician, let's say, for example. Very similar with the career tech programs do, and we work very closely and have a long relationship with C-Tech and Joyce Maloney specifically. And the last one is enlistment. We still have some students who are desires to go into the military, so we want to make sure that, again, kind of reverse engineer that into what are military recruiters looking for, and what can we do, especially in your junior and senior, to help you get ready for doing there. School safety is an area we've had a safety assessment conducted. We're working close with the chief. We've actually done some work already on talking about active shooter drills. And last is we have some levies. We have a levy that's an income tax that's due to expire in 2023, and then we also have an emergency. We don't like that word, but that's the word that the states always use. So it's just basically renewal of an existing tax that we have, and that expires in 2024. Those are very important to us, and one of the things that people often ask is, well, what about Intel? What about all the business? We all know it's not here yet, and the good thing on both of these renewals of these levies is we're only looking for 5 years, because we think, who knows, because what will happen with all the business exactly, but we want to make sure we're prepared, so we're not asking for 10 or even permanent, where you sometimes see. But I do want to underscore again, the levies are important. The income tax, you might be surprised, but it generates $4.9 million of our budget.
The children that are in your schools, the children in the community organization, the children we hope to provide a great town to live in are the same kids. Historically, there's been some separation between the groups that are trying to advocate for these kids. Anecdotally, because that's pretty much all the information I can offer at this point, it seems that has come together. And I'm encouraged by it, between the school board, the school systems, the council, the local groups, seem to be all singing from the same hymnal, if you will. And I think you have a lot to do with that, or at least from your position, to encourage that growth and that community working together, and I think that's wonderful. And I thank you for that, and hope we can continue to build that relationship, because it's all the same community. We all have our specializations as far as what we're trying to get done, but it's all the same folks we're trying to take care of. And it's positive, and I thank you for your efforts and the board's.
No, thank you. That really is a concerted effort on behalf of the board.
I think it's very important for the city, the zoning, that we work with the schools and anticipate what they can handle for growth as we build this city. We don't want to overbuild too quickly that the schools cannot handle that. And we put trailers, other suitable or other items out there where kids are going to have to learn in, and not the institutions that were built for them. But try to work with the schools to see what they can handle each year when we look at housing growth, when we look at all this other growth, so that we do it together as one and not a separate entity. So
Yeah, I think that's a good point. You know, the question was asked is, do we have a ceiling in terms of the enrollment for the school district? We don't. We're here to serve, and that's what we really focus on. So we want to continue to work closely. We know there's gonna be growth, but any kind of steady plan for growth where we can manage not only the facilities, but the financing of that as well too, because one can get in front of the other too quickly, and then you're gonna, you know, it can be trailers, and that can impact the teaching and learning program. It can be increased taxes, and we certainly don't want that if we can. So as much as these projects can fund, or we can try to, we're gonna focus on that. The other thing we've talked about long-range planning is looking at a compensation agreement too, and some things that we can work together. As you know, the Ohio Revised Code provides a base for that, but I'd rather see us, and the board does too, if we can have an agreement so that when more development occurs, you know what the expectations are, and you can represent that, and that'll make negotiations go a lot faster. So we're prepared.